everybody, Katerina here. Welcome to my kitchen. Well, not too long ago, my husband and I were in New Orleans for a week with some friends. We had the best time. We absolutely loved it. And of course, everybody insisted that we had to go to this wonderful little restaurant that had beignets all day long. And we had to wait in this huge lineup. And when we got there, I said, okay, now I understand why we're waiting, why the lineup, and why our friends insisted on going there for their beignets. Absolutely delicious. I got the recipe and I'm going to share it with you. Now let's get started. So 5 minutes ago, I prepared my yeast mixture. In this glass container, I have 1 cup of hot water at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. To the water, I added 1/4 cup of granulated sugar that I allowed to melt. Then I added 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Look how beautiful it's frothing up. And I'm just going to leave it alone now for a couple of more minutes. Okay, I'm going to prepare the dry ingredients. Here I have 3½ cups of all-purpose flour. To the flour, I'm going to add 3/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay, I'm just going to give this a really good mix, and I'm just going to set it aside. You can see how beautiful my yeast is. It's risen, it's alive. Now I'm just going to add this to a stand mixer. Okay, to the yeast mixture, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature, and I'm going to give it a really good mix at low speed. Okay, here I have 1 egg, 1/2 cup of milk, and I'm going to mix it together. Everything at room temperature. Now I'm just going to give this a really good mix. I'm adding the milk and egg mixture, and I'm going to let it mix. We're ready for the dry mixture. I'm going to add 1/2 cup at a time. I must tell you who I am preparing this wonderful batch of beignets for, and it is of course for my Dr. Dov Weiss. I've spoken about him many times in the past. He's my godwink, and he's the one who I credit for my sweet papa still being here today, being my sweet papa, and for taking away 30 years of shoulder pain that I had to endure. He took it away. And I love this doctor, and I love his staff. We are going there tomorrow to visit him for an appointment with my parents. And his lovely assistant mentioned that they love beignets. That, she just went on, and I explained to her, I make them. I can make beignets. And I promised Dr. Dov Weiss at the Painless Medicine Clinic. So this batch is going tomorrow to Dr. Dov Weiss's staff. It's a little bit too sticky for my liking. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon extra of all-purpose flour and see if that'll do the trick. Once you see the dough rising up the hook, you know it's ready. I'm just going to let the machine knead it for 5 minutes for me. I'd lightly buttered my bowl because I don't want the dough to stick. So all I'm going to do now is just take it out of the bowl, form it into a little ball. It's an absolutely beautiful dough. I'm just going to place it in the bowl. I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap. Now I have a warming drawer that I'm going to place it in for 1 hour. It needs to double in size. If you don't have a warming drawer, just keep it in a nice warm spot in your kitchen. In an hour, and my dough has doubled in size. It's just beautiful. A little bit of flour from my work surface, a little bit of flour on the pan where I'm going to, they're going to need a second rising. So all I'm going to do now is just puff it down. Okay, it's nicely deflated. Now all I'm going to do is roll it out. I'm going to try to make a 12-inch square. Don't be worried if it's not exact I'm going to try to do 3-inch squares. Now this dough recipe makes 16. So I'm going to cut it in half. I have a pizza cutter here. It works fantastic. Now this I'm also going to cut in half. Okay, and I'm going to cut across. Some pieces are going to be a little bit bigger. It's okay. There we are. Okay, and I'm just going to place them on a tray here. They need a 30-minute rising. My beignets have risen beautifully. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry them. Now I love these fryers. If you don't have a fryer like this, a cast iron pot with a minimum of 2 to 3 inches of grapeseed oil, and you set your thermometer. It should be reading 350 degrees Fahrenheit for the oil. Okay, so I'm just going to add them to the fryer 2 at a time, a couple of minutes on each side. And I'm going to turn them around. Look how beautiful. I'm going to say it, if you could only smell my kitchen. Okay, 2 are ready. I'm going to take them out and place them on some paper towel just for a second. Just for a mere second. And in the icing sugar, they go nice and hot. Ah, beautiful. Okay, beautiful. My beignets for Dr. Dove Weiss is staffed for tomorrow are ready. I think they're going to love them and enjoy them. I don't think they'll miss just one. I'm going to taste one for you. Oh, I know I say this all the time, but if you could only smell my kitchen. I'm right back in New Orleans. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. And you saw how easy they were to prepare. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It's Katerina from my home to yours. Don't forget to hit your like button. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel. Ciao. So I'm here in Dr. Dove Weiss, my Godwin, the fellow I was telling you about, and I brought the whole tray of beignets because his beautiful assistant said that she loves them, and now we're going to see what they say once they bite into them. And by the way, this is Dr. Weiss, the very handsome man beside is Dr. Dove Weiss. He's married with a beautiful wife and children, ladies, so forget about it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, there's enough there for your entire staff. It's the least I can do.
Definitely make this for you.
It's on my site.
Extra salad points. All your viewers